Post combine mock draft with A Spiral and Brother. We're back
Good.
again. We are going to be doing this mock draft again with us alternating picks. We're going in no prep. We are free balling this thing. We wanted this one to be more vibes, kind of how we're feeling on the day. So expect some maybe outlandish picks, if you will. Some NFL news that's happened today. There have been a few trades. DJ Moore getting traded to the Buffalo Bills for a second. The Bills also got a fifth round pick back. Titus Howard getting traded from the Texans
To the Browns.
to the Browns.
Trent McDuffie.
Trent McDuffie getting traded to the Rams for a load of picks. So
First, a third next year, a fifth and sixth this year.
and a seventh in 2027.
Yeah.
So Trent McDuffie to the
And
Rams.
then David Montgomery to the Texans for a fourth, Juice Scruggs, and a seventh.
Yep. And then there have been a ton of releases like
franchise tags.
Transitional tags. Breece Hall is on a franchise. Daniel Jones is on a transitional. We've seen some releases like the tackle for the Chiefs.
Yep, Jawan Taylor.
Kyler
Murray.
Kyler Murray is designated to be released
agent
on the first day of the new season. We are in the full swing of the NFL offseason. Be ready for some free agency talks when free agency begins. We are in the thick of the offseason and the fun is just starting. So here at number 1.
Oh wait, rock paper scissors.
All right. Rock paper scissors. My channel.
No.
First pick, Fernando Mendoza.
All right, my turn.
Yep, literally. There's no need to talk about this pick. The Raiders need a quarterback. Him not throwing at the combine and him weighing in at 236 or whatever it ended up being is just fantastic for him. He always looks a little thinner in games, but for him being that size, it shows that he could potentially be a durable quarterback in the NFL.
At number 2, this is where it can kind of go anywhere. I'm going to go David Bailey. He had a good combine. They need an edge. He showed out, had great explosives on his broad jump and vertical. And I think they need an edge bad because they traded Jermaine Johnson. You could say Arvell Reese, but he wasn't a pure pass rusher, and that's what they need. They just what? What do you do? All right, whatever.
That's my thoughts. My only problem with David Bailey is even though his bend looked better in the combine, he's still a stiff player for only being 251.
True.
So I think that if he can improve his bend, which is really hard to do after, once you get into the pros, who knows? Maybe the pure power kind of works just like how Jared Verse did, but Jared Verse even has more bend than Bailey. I think he can go anywhere from 2 to 8 is my opinions on Bailey. At number 3, I believe that the Cardinals are going to go with a tackle, and Francis Manoa makes sense. He looked the best throughout the entire season. There are other O-linemen that are going to jump into this first round based on combine stuff, just in my personal opinion. And you'll see that as we get later in the draft. But I definitely think Francis Manoa is by far the best tackle that can stay at tackle in this entire draft class.
And he can shore up the right side across from Paris Johnson Jr. Jeremiah Love. I think getting Cam Ward more weapons helps a lot. You're leaving Arvell Reese and Sonny Styles there, I know. And they're both top 5 players.
That's crazy.
But Jeremiah Love had an insane combine. Ran a 4.36, jumped out of the gym. He looked so fluid in every single one of his on-field drills. He had great route running too. I didn't think he was going to be that good of a route runner. But here's my main reason. Cam Ward needs someone on the offensive side of the ball, and I don't think a receiver could go here. Maybe a tackle and Arvell Reese or Sonny Styles. I'm going Jeremiah Love.
At number 5, if this were how the draft were to fall, it's going to be a cornerback. And I think Mansour Delane has the least amount of negatives for him in the sense of he's not coming off a season-ending injury. He looked fantastic this last year. He's a fantastic corner that I think fits the New York scheme, and I think that he will do great under John Harbaugh.
6, I am going with Spencer Fano. Every one of their offensive linemen is gone. They haven't re-signed anyone. They just traded for Titus Howard, but he's been a bum for the past 4 years. Respectfully, he's in the NFL, so he's not a real bum. But Spencer Fano looked really, really good on the on-field drills. He had the best side-to-side mobility out of everyone. He was quick out of his shuffles, and he's more agile than I thought. I thought he was going to be a bit slower, but I'm pretty sure he ran like 5 flat or just under a 5, if I'm not mistaken. But I think he looked great, and they need anything they can get on the offensive side.
Here at number 7, Sonny Styles. Washington needs an off-ball linebacker. Sonny Styles showed that he is getting close to being a generational linebacker talent.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think that this class had any generational talents, and Sonny Styles has gotten close to that for me personally. Just seeing his combine, seeing his movement skills, watching his film from this year, being able to see a guy who is a surefire tackler at 6'4", 6'5", 240 something, at that size and athletic ability, it's bordering on generational.
Yeah, and runs a 4.46. That's unreal.
Yeah,
he's a huge human. I think they just take best player available. Arvell Reese is just an insane athlete. I'm just going to be curious where the Saints play him. If he's an edge or if he's an off-ball linebacker. I think he could play both at New Orleans.
Here at number 9 with the Kansas City Chiefs, they just traded away a corner, which is why they're going Ruben Bain. They need edge help, and Ruben Bain in that defense, I think, is going to be an insane benefit to learn from Chris Jones and play opposite of Karlaftis. They just traded away Trent McDuffie.
Mm-hmm.
I thought the corners looked really good as an overall depth of corner availability you can get, and they just traded for their first round pick. They are going to get a lot of potential swings at this draft class, and I think you taking a surefire player like Ruben Bain at 9 is a fantastic draft pick.
Joe Burrow seems to be always hurt or always comeback player of the year, so they need offensive line. Vega Ioane did not run the 40, but his on-field drills looked very, very good. And his film all year, I actually studied a little bit more of his actual game film, and I think he could go top 15 for sure as like a lock top 15. He's like a very good pulling guard, and he's still good enough in the pass game.
At 11, Miami Dolphins, first wide receiver off the board, we're going to go Carnell Tate. What do great Ohio State receivers do? They run 4.5s and they catch the ball. And that is exactly what Carnell Tate does. He's a great route runner. He is smooth in and out of his routes. I thought it was weird he didn't do any on-field drills, kind of how we talked about in the last video. But yeah, Carnell Tate here at number 11 to Miami with the first wide receiver coming off the board here.
Cowboys. If he's there, they're going to take him. Apparently, the reports about his knee
bad.
No, I heard they're fake.
Fake?
Yeah, like it's just some random dude posted that and it caught traction.
Oh.
That's just what I heard, that Caleb Downs, all that degenerative ACL and torn meniscus, apparently that's fake. But if that causes him to fall, I think Cowboys swoop in, pick him up. They need help on the secondary bad. One of the worst defenses last year, bottom 3 until they got Quinnen Williams. And Caleb Downs, he's just a surefire prospect. He's top 3 in this draft. Actually, top 4 now.
At number 13 with the Rams, even though they did just trade for a corner, I don't see any reason why they wouldn't go with potentially the best corner on the board still, and Jermod McCoy. Playing him on the outside along with, if they retain Kobe Durant, and playing McDuffie in that nickel position, which is where he was the All-Pro and had his best season, I think could be fantastic for the Rams. And with such a great potential prospect like McCoy, we'll see how he runs at his pro day, but If he looks good at his pro day, I see no reason why he doesn't go top 15. And if he falls to the Rams, you take the best players at your draft picks in the first round.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that it is a perfect landing spot for Jamad McCoy.
All right, this is my personal pick because I'm a Ravens fan. All right, dude. Lamar's the best quarterback in the league. I don't want to hear it. I've been seeing people mock Vega Ioane quite often, or one of the two receivers, but I don't like how Mekhi Lemon did his interviews. Apparently, he was just like straight up an idiot, and he didn't pay attention in the in the on-field drills. He was just staring up at the at the ceiling of the dome, and I thought that was hilarious when I saw clips of that. So I think they either go defensive line or they go offensive line. So I'm actually going to go Monroe Freeling. I think Declan Doyle can find a spot for him somewhere on that offensive line. He looked great in the on-field drills. Very, very fluid mover at tackle. I'm pretty sure he's 6'7". He can stick at tackle. I think he's mobile enough to move to guard, but the Ravens guard play was one of the worst in the league. And
At number 15, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to be going with TJ Parker. I think he had a really good combine.
Mhm.
I think his Senior Bowl tape was good. I think we can basically disregard all of Clemson's last season
it
of
was
film.
awful. Everyone looked bad.
It was very weird. Everyone just looked super uninterested, and you're hoping that that is not something that carries over to the pros. But I think TJ Parker is more of a stereotypical potential great edge with size, speed, athletic ability, and potential to have good pass rush skill. I think he fits in with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
I'm going Dylan Thieneman here. They need any sort of help on the defense. Why not get?
I know.
They just suck. The Jets are the Jets, and they're just one of the worst teams in the NFL in the past 20 years. They need any help they can get, and he just showed out. Who's gonna throw them the ball?
Kyler Murray.
Kyler Murray's going to the Vikings.
No.
Yes.
I don't think so.
Kyler Murray's going to the Vikings. He's going to do a Sam Darnold. He's going to go somewhere else and get paid $30 million.
I don't think Kevin O'Connell will want a quarterback that can't see over the middle.
He
of
can
the
make
offensive
any
line.
quarterback good, bro.
Besides 9.
I could see possibly.
All
I just think they need any defensive help they can get. So why not go a crazy combine? That's just a Jets pick, though.
With the Lions pick, it says they need center, tackle, edge, and corner. Looking on this board, we have guys like Akeem Mesidor, Keldrick Falk. I don't think that either of those guys are very good picks prior to 20. I think Keldrick Falk's a little stiff. He's more of a stereotypical run defending edge, and Akeem Mesidor is old and has some injury history with feet, and that is a bad combo, being as big as guys are in the NFL, having foot injuries. It kind of seems like cornerback or O line might be the move here. Yeah, 17, we're going to go guard. I think Emmanuel Pregnon looked fantastic in the combine, and I thought his film, from what I've seen, looks like he is a Lions O lineman, if that makes sense. He's a stereotypical guard size. They need help on the interior, and I think Pregnon's that guy.
Vikings here at 18. Here's my reasoning. They're cutting Aaron Jones and they're cutting Jonathan Allen. That saves them upwards of 18, 19 mil in cap space. I think you get Caleb Banks, who was a freak athlete, like crazy athleticism score for how big he was, and shoring up that defensive line. I know they need DB help. I think if they re-sign Isaiah Rodgers Sr., that shores up the cornerback room a little bit more. I think in the second round you could find someone else. I just don't think Avion Terrell is a top 20 pick. I think he's around 21 to 24. I don't know. I just see Caleb Banks being the pick here. Just standard D tackle, helps them out tremendously on the defensive front, giving up, and they are probably going to trade Jonathan Grenard.
Yeah, a little bit of helmet scouting here with the CJ Allen pick, but he's a good, solid linebacker, and the Panthers need help at run defense, and that's what CJ Allen does great. Is he is a great run defending linebacker, and so he is going there at 19.
I have Keldrick Folk here at 20. He's 20 years old. He's super young. He's going to be the youngest player in the NFL when he gets in. Yeah, he's 20. He's literally like,
He's a child.
yeah. I think he like just turned 20 toward the end of 2025, which is insane to me. But he's a freak. Like he's super long and lanky. He just needs to be able to use that size well. Um, they need edge help after trading away Micah. I think this could be that guy if they can get him the pass rush help he needs. Um, and he's a great run defender. Their run defending game got way better with Quinton Williams, and this just got even better.
At 21, the Steelers, I believe Rodgers is coming back. I think he is going to make it very known when he is actually going to be done. Last season potential with Mike McCarthy, kind of a one last run type of feeling to it. I think Rodgers is coming back, so I will not be going quarterback in the first round for the Steelers. I could potentially see them going a quarterback in the second or third with the quarterback talent that is there. Instead, I think that a guy like Makai Lemon to run in breaking routes, underneath routes, with DK Metcalf going back to the deep ball sideline throws, I think Rodgers is going to love having a guy like Makai Lemon and potentially actually be a good fit with how Rodgers has kind of evolved since leaving the Packers. I think he's become a much better role model for young guys and kind of a steadying ship player when it comes to anything off the field.
The type of grit he played with.
Mm-mm.
I don't know what was he doing.
I don't know.
I think he was trying to be like George Pickens, but Chargers need their offensive line is so bad. Well, Bozeman retired. They cut
Oh, that's right.
Mekhi Becton,
Yes, I forgot about
so they need kind of just anyone. So Blake Miller, I think, is the best tackle available. I actually did like his on-field work. Um, he could move into guard if they need him to. When I think he'll play tackle until both tackles get back from injury, and I don't know how long the Achilles and the ankle surgeries are going to last for both tackles. So he'll stay there until they both get back and then move into guard.
Not Achilles, patellar tendon.
Sorry, patellar tendon.
I
Okay.
agree. I think that Blake Miller would probably start out as a tackle. I think that the Rashawn Slater injury is going to take a lot longer than this year, and Joe Alt, I believe, is going to be ready for training camp. So it'll probably be Alton Miller playing the tackles until Rashawn Slater gets healthy. Here at 23, he's fallen and now he's gone. Kenyon Sadiq, I think, is a extremely good tight end, 6'3", 241. I believe he probably dropped a little weight for the combine to run a little faster. All guys do it. But having a freak athlete like Kenyon Sadiq being able to stretch the field for a good deep ball thrower in Jalen Hurts. Kenyon Sadiq to the Eagles with Dallas Goedert probably signing somewhere else this offseason. They don't have a lot of money. It makes sense with how much they utilize tight end and how great of a threat Kenyon Sadiq is with the ball in his hands. I think that he fits into that Dallas Goedert spot and actually probably does it better than Goddard did.
Mm-hmm. They're gonna do those weird flips,
Uh-huh.
whatever.
Dude, he's literally like a 6'3" running back. He's insane with the ball in his hands.
If he's gonna be there, I don't see a reason why the Browns don't take a chance on Jordan Tyson, barring the injuries. Jordan Tyson, he's such a smooth route runner. He's probably not the fastest, but his high point and jump ball abilities are honestly one of the best in the class besides Carnell Tate. But his route running is so smooth. He gets so much separation. He doesn't need to be a burner down the field, but he's still a great deep ball runner. And why not have as much help as you can for a quarterback coming in next year?
Here at 25 for the Bears, they need interior D-line help. It seems like they're kind of building up to a potential trade for Max Crosby. Is the Bears are now the favorite to make that trade, and with the DJ Moore trade and clearing up some space and having Drew Dahlman just retire, I believe that if the Bears are going to trade for Max Crosby, that taking an interior D lineman like Caden McDonald to help shore up that run defense is going to be a great fit for them, basically taking over that Andrew Billings role. And I think that if They do end up cutting Tremaine Edmonds, which will save them $15 million this upcoming season. I think there are plenty of good linebackers down the board that they can potentially get with second round picks.
Don't be surprised if they take an interior offensive lineman to play center.
So then talk.
Akeem Mesidor, he's 25, but he's still a prolific pass rusher. He kept putting pressure on the opposite side of Bain the entire year. The only real downsides are, like we talked about, his foot injuries and his age. But other than that, he looks great. He's quick off the ball. He has a great first step, and I think the Bills need any edge help they can get.
Unless you take
Why aren't the Seahawks re-signing anyone? They have the money.
I don't know.
They just re-signed Drake Thomas, and they're letting Shaheed.
Who?
Their third string linebacker. He actually played really well this year, though.
I didn't doubt it. I just literally didn't know.
But it's like you have the Super Bowl MVP. Why are you not re-signing them when you have a chance? So Trent Williams is under contract still, but he's gonna be paid like $39 million, and they don't want to.
This seems
they're
like
trying to either restructure or make an extension so they can push off that money.
Yeah, that's exactly what we're doing.
And if they don't come to an agreement, they're going to cut him.
And with that being said, I think a Max Iheanacho is a fantastic fit. He is an extremely athletic guy who didn't start playing football until he was in high school. Prior to that, played soccer, so he has great footwork skills.
Mm-hmm.
I think him coming in to basically fill that role that potentially Trent Williams will leave if he does leave, or if they do figure out how to restructure it and him stay and coach up Max Iheanacho is going to be great. And I think he could be a anchor for that O-line for the next 10 years if he gets drafted here.
Mm-hmm. So Texans at 28, they don't need a running back anymore. They have Woody Marks and David Montgomery now. Peter Woods, I don't know why he's fallen so far in the PFF rankings. I think it's because he didn't do anything at the combine. I don't even think he did on-field stuff. But Peter Woods, he has the potential to be a top 5 D tackle in the league. He is such a good pass rusher and can just fill holes when he needs to. And making that defense that much better is scary. It was probably the scariest defense in the league, and now it just got even worse.
Fill in right where they gave away a Trent McDuffie for an Avion Terrell and a bunch of extra picks seems like a pretty good trade-off for the Chiefs in this position. I think Avion Terrell is actually probably going to go a little higher than this, but if the board falls how we are, picking it to go, I think Avion Terrell is a great fit in Kansas City with how much press man they like to play. Avion Terrell has that dog in him.
Oh,
and
yeah.
He loves to play press man. So I think that's a great pick here at 29, and the Chiefs just got way better on defense and have built back up to a defense that has been down on the last year and a half or so.
Call me crazy. They need linebacker help. Dre Greenlaw might either be a trade candidate or they might cut him because he's worth a lot and, a little injury trouble, but he's great. The second string is where they're struggling. Alex Singleton's a free agent. They don't really have a third guy that could fill that role. Jacob Rodriguez, top 5 player in the country this year, and they need linebacker help. And he's just his side-to-side movement is some of the best I've seen for not being that fast of a guy.
Patriots here at 31. We did forget to mention that they did just cut Stephon Diggs. They are in the lead to trade for A.J. Brown. I do not think that they will do it. They're asking for a first-round pick and some for A.J. Brown. It's really steep for a wide receiver
who's
owed a ton of money, and 28 or 29. It seems a little steep. And why go get A.J. Brown when you can get Omar Cooper in the draft?
They're not the same.
I know. But my point is, Omar Cooper running a sub 4.5 was one of the things people were worried about most, is how he is in just pure speed. Because he's a great route runner, he's got great hands, but the speed doesn't always show on the field. And I think that's kind of how a lot of great route runners are, is it just looks effortless for them. And so sometimes it doesn't come across as great speed.
Yeah, I'm just going to go Caleb Lomu. Boring pick, I know, but they need guard help, Anthony Bradford was so bad. Him, the Chargers guards, and Daniel Falele were the worst players I've ever seen this year. And that's saying a lot. Because we've seen people like Deshaun Kaiser. But Caleb Lomu looked great in his on-field work, and he's super young. I'm pretty sure he just turned 21 recently. He's quick enough to move into guard, and he has great hands. Other than that, they just need O-line help. And if they can hit again like they did with Gray Zabel, that'd be a very scary offensive line packaging with whoever they bring back for running back. This is one of our weirder drafts.
Yes, this is one of our weirder drafts.
Arvell Reese and Ruben Bain falling to 7 and 8. 6-7.
As much as it is weird, I think off-ball linebacker doesn't really go earlier than 5 anymore, and a guy who is just potential to be an edge and hasn't actually done it wouldn't be crazy to fall. He's still a top 10 pick, but I don't think those two are crazy. I think maybe Mansour Delane to this high and then Jeremiah Love to Tennessee Titans might be a little wild, but I do think that this top 10 really isn't that crazy. Maybe a wide receiver probably goes somewhere in here.
Shift around a little bit
instead of at 11, but Caleb Downs falling outside of the top 10 isn't crazy. Safeties have done it before, especially guys like Kyle Hamilton. And there's a lot more O-linemen going in this draft, which it always seems like there is that go early in the first round because you get that fifth-year option for guys. You need more O-linemen than you do any other position on the field. So they are typically first-round picks, and when you hit on them, it's a great thing for you. But that's just the opinion of some ball knowers. See you later.